day, it's going to be pretty intense. It's going to go really fast. We're going to do an Apps Shootout today. So we've got several apps to do in the morning and several to show you in the afternoon. We've got 3 minutes per app is what we have allowed. So there won't be a lot of time for you to go out to either the website or download the app on your iPad as we're going through them. So you might want to just kind of watch up here, but don't worry, don't fret. I see some people like, oh my gosh, how are we going to get them? We have Symboloos all set up for you with all the apps, all the websites on them already linked. So you just enjoy the app that's being presented and just kind of follow along, and you'll do really well today. But once again, we appreciate you coming to Summer Institute. Today is the last day for some of you. Yay. Get to enjoy your summer after this. And I think Morganator wants to say something very quickly.
All right, so one thing to have maybe in the background or to go to initially so that you can see the flow here and keep up with the apps that we're presenting is from our website, which is 21stcenturyjhs.com. You'll be able to see in that newest site updates area. It's got critical thinking Symboloo, creativity Symboloo, and favorites Symboloo. So one thing I'd like to show you though, if you've got an iPad with you, just a quick tip here. If I hit this guy right here, that button there, I can add that website to my home screen, and a lot of you probably know that, but that will be a quick way to link to, let's say, this site. But
Darren, I'm going to show them an app I wanted to do that for you. So
yeah,
when I do
so
my stuff,
there will be several times today that we've got a mixture of both native iPad apps and things that are web-based, but a lot of the things that are web-based you can still use on an iPad, and students can use on an iPad, and the quick way to access those is to kind of make them little app icons on your screen, on your home screen with your iPad by doing this. Click that, add the home screen. I'm going to add that just to show you what it looks like, and then beautiful. All right, so then we've got that little guy right there. When I click on it, it'll open it up on the web. So I would encourage you to click on Critical Thinking Symboloo and do that with that Symboloo. Does that make sense? Now today, you can move tables and chairs if you'd like. There's not a place to sit. We're going to sit right here on the front row. All right, turning it over to Rhonda.
We are also going to mail out the links to all the Symboloos if somehow you miss all of this, but you need to make sure that in My Learning Plan, you've logged in, gone to your user profile, and changed your email so that it is your now joplinschools.org email. I think most of you have already done that this week because we've been sending things out every day, but this is just a backup, so you'll have multiple ways to get to what we're presenting today.
And I just wanted to go over real quickly, some of you may be wondering how in the world we are beaming, how in the world we are beaming up the iPad to the screen. This is a little app. It's actually not on your iPad, it's on your laptop that usually works. This is what we're using today for the Apps Shootout. What it does is it turns your laptop into an AirPlay-enabled device. How many of you guys have heard or have experience with AirPlay? Okay, so generally your laptop does not have AirPlay capabilities, but when you have this little AirPlay, this reflector app, then it will turn it into an AirPlay device, and so you can then, from your iPad or any iPad, to be your student's iPad, they can actually beam their iPads up to the screen. You can have multiple iPads, as you can see up on the screen. So it's about $12, I think, if I remember correctly, for one individual license. You're able to get multiple licenses for $10 each, I believe it is. But you should be able to find it on the web at reflectorapp.com. Reflectorapp.com. And there are some others out there that are available. There are some other apps out there that are available. One is also called, let me get the name, Air Server. Air Server. So it's another alternative, Air Server, all one word, that does the same exact thing. The pricing is comparable, so you can kind of check them out, see which one you like the best. Reflector has worked perfectly for us, except for like when it closes unexpectedly. But overall, we've had some really good experience with it. So if you have any questions on that and how to actually use it, please let us know and we'll get with you and help you work that out.
And Jeff, there is a cost for those two programs, but really considering it's pretty minimal, and we thought if we were in the classroom, it's probably something that we would consider purchasing, because you can display the students' work so quickly up on the screen and back and forth and those types of things. We did have another question, and they said, are we going to send all of this out to you? We've done some training on Symbolos. If you weren't in that training, Darren's created 2 Symbolos. We'll send those links, 3 Symbolos. We'll send those links out at the end of the presentation. So if you can't follow along or whatever you're trying to do, just don't worry about it. You'll have the links to all of this at the end. All right. What we've done a couple of times when we've seen this done, it's better just to take notes over it quickly. Rather than trying to go actually out to the web pages and do it. Now, some of us may try to step you through some things where you need to do that, but basically it's better just to type down the name of the app or whatever it is and go look at it at a later time and just take notes over what we tell you, because we're going to try to move pretty fast-paced today. All right? Any other questions before we begin or clarifications? Yes, question. That is correct. It's a program that's installed on your laptop. It runs off that. So one of the things that you'll see today, I can't show movies. You can show movies through Reflector, but it lags a little bit, so it's not great. So rather than using my laptop, it forces us to use one. So we have everything hooked up through Jeff's laptop, and we're just connecting to his reflection program through our iPads.
Any other questions before we get started? Okay, you might give us about 30 seconds. Justin is the first one up. And so give us about 30 seconds to make sure everything's good to go, and then the shootout will begin.
All right, so the first one that we're going to go through today is Wolfram Alpha. How many people have heard of Wolfram Alpha out there? A few? Okay. Basically, Wolfram Alpha is a web-based program. There is an app that you can put on your iPhone or your iPad, but it's $2.99. So you may not want to do that. There is a free viewer, but what I have here is I've just connected to the Wolfram Alpha site through my iPad through the browser. All right, so you can search all kinds of things. I've got a it's a long video, but we'll just watch a portion of it. So Jeff, if you want to go ahead and show that, we'll pause for a moment.
Hello, I'm Stephen Wolfram, and I'd like to give you a quick introduction. Hello, I'm Stephen Wolfram, and I'd like to give you a quick introduction to Wolfram Alpha. Wolfram Alpha is really a very ambitious and long-term project, which in many ways is just getting started. But let me show you a little bit of what you can already do with Wolfram Alpha today. The basic idea of Wolfram Alpha is very simple. You type your input, your question, and Wolfram Alpha produces a result. Let's try something really easy. Okay, that's good. Now let's try something harder. How about some serious math? But you can type things in pretty much however you want. Here's what Wolfram Alpha produces. It's done the integral, and then it's showing us other things that it thinks we'll be interested in. How about something more real world? Let's ask it the GDP of France. Here's the result, and then it gives a plot of the history and so on. But we can dress up the question a bit if we want, and say, what is the GDP of France? Question mark. Same result. Let's try this. What is the GDP of France / Italy? So we as humans can tell what this is asking. And so can Wolfram Alpha, and it gives us the result. But this is really making use of the fact that the data in Wolfram Alpha is organized so that it can actually be computed with. Okay, let's try something different. How about internet users in Europe? Now Wolfram Alpha is going to take what it knows and summarize it for us with a table and some graphs and so on. All right, how about some geography? Let's ask about Springfield. Well, there are lots of Springfields in the world, but Wolfram Alpha knows from GeoIP, from the internet address it sees for me, that I happen to be in Massachusetts right now. So it assumes that I mean the Springfield that's in Massachusetts. Of course, I could pick one of the others, too.
So you can imagine it's an amazing tool you can use with geography and a bunch of different things. What do you think the first thing kids do? Solve math problems. That's what they try to do to get the answer. So you need to know it's out there, whether you want to use it or not, but there's a creative way. The other thing that kids always want to do, the first thing, is, Jeff, can you go back to my, do I have to connect again to my, okay. The first thing kids want to do is check their birthday. So Rhonda, what year were you born? Anyway, that's Wolfram Alpha. If you want to have some fun, go out and search the year and the day that you were born. All right, I'm done.